I'm in Korea! So I have finally arrived in Korea and I just started my 7-day quarantine. It's a pretty difficult time to be traveling around right now, and I just wanted to share my experience traveling from Hong Kong to Korea. Okay, so let me first talk about my experience coming from Hong Kong. I believe that was the more difficult part. So yeah, number one, I had to get a PCR test within 48 hours of departure. Not 48 hours actually, it was 2 days before. Your flight time does not actually matter. It's the day that you got it that actually matters. So it's really important to make sure that you have the appointment before you book your flight out or anything. There were multiple options that I had. I could get a test at the airport, but that was fully booked until in middle of March. That option was out, and so there was another option of like ordering PCR tests to your home, but all of those websites were booked out too. And another option, you could also go to the community testing centers. I don't think it's possible to get a PCR test result within 48 hours in the local testing centers. So my best bet was to just go to a private clinic. So I was calling multiple clinics. It took me like hours to just figure that out. Your best bet right now is probably just to go to a private clinic and take a financial hit. And then number two is just to print my vaccination proof out, just so that I could prove it when I was checking in at the airport. So then I packed my stuff and everything and then got to the airport, and it was surprisingly super crowded. My flight was not comfortable at all. I mean, there was no one sitting beside me, but there were people like front and back, and at the airport as well, there were so many people. Okay, so let's talk about what happens on your flight. The flight attendants will give you a few forms to fill in, including customs form and like your quarantine information form. They were all pretty straightforward to fill in, just your personal details, your phone number, address, where you're coming from, if you're transiting or not, just very basic information. So let's talk about what happens after you arrive in Korea. After you land, there are 2 lanes once you get out of your plane. You could either go to the transit lane, which I don't know anything about, or you could just go to the arrival lane. It's very straightforward, so you just follow that one path and the workers there will tell you what to do. They will like constantly be screaming things. They'll be like, oh, it's this way, come here, get your forms up, give it to this booth. And then there will be a couple booths to give your forms to. So each booth you have to like give your respective forms. I know they're supposed to call the number that you put down and check the address or something, but I don't know if it's because mine was an overnight flight. They didn't do that for me. So they just asked me where I was gonna quarantine. That's it. Yeah, but I'm not sure if this is gonna be the experience for everyone, but for me, they didn't ask me anything in particular. And then once you get out of the gate, there are 2 ways that you can get out of the airport. Someone can pick you up, or you can go take this special taxi called 방역 택시, which is like a specific taxi for quarantined people. So I had to take the taxi to get to where I am right now, and then within 24 hours of arrival, you also have to go to a local testing center to get your PCR test. For me, getting out of the airport and coming here was not an issue at all, but here is the real issue. There's hella people. They opened at 9 and I'm pretty sure I got there at 9 a.m. and the line was literally outside the entire road, and it went like across. So there's like a tent, kind of like, you know how you line up for a roller coaster, and it's like in a wavy form, so you know you can fit in as many people as you can. That thing was already full, and the line extended like out to the main road and around. I couldn't even use my phone because my hands were freezing. If you have to go to that community testing center, I really suggest you pack hot pack for your hands so you don't freeze. Wear a KF94 mask, wear warm clothes, and bring something to entertain yourself because you're gonna line up for more than an hour. I got a text message at night saying that I got tested negative. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So once you get that PCR test, you start your quarantine, you're pretty much good to go. So from the text message I got, it seems like I'm free to go on the 7th day of arrival, and I just have to get another PCR test before that. Because I'm a citizen in Korea, I think the process might have been a bit simpler, but I know from what I read on the Korean website, it said that for tourists, you have to go to the mandatory quarantine facility or a quarantine hotel. So I think your experience might differ from mine. From what I've heard, you have to go to like a different lane if you're a foreigner and take a bus that takes you to the quarantine hotel. So that's gonna be different from what I did. But in terms of filling in the forms and the PCR testing requirements, quarantine requirements, they're all gonna be the same. So yeah, that was my travel experience from Hong Kong to Korea. I hope if you're planning to travel to Korea, this video helps. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I will help you because I went through quite a lot just to get this trip right. I understand how nerve-wracking it could be traveling in the middle of a pandemic. COVID's also bad here, so I am gonna be careful and I'm gonna be testing myself all the time as well. So for the rest of the day, it's like almost 5 p.m. already. I'm gonna be booking some things that I couldn't do, cut my hair, nails, and all that. So I'm gonna do some research over that. Maybe order more food so I can start cooking. What else do I have to do? Oh, I want to book Pilates classes for my posture and back pain. Yeah, just like figuring out some errand stuff. Maybe I'll get a workout in as well. I haven't done that in a while. So I hope this video has helped you, and if you're interested in seeing what I'm gonna be doing during my quarantine, here is a small compilation of what I'm doing. Super yummy. I got a fig scone and yuzu madeleine and croffle, like a croissant waffle thing that's like trending in Korea. Inside there's butter and red bean. I finished it. I forgot to film it, but this is what it looks like. So it's like a croissant waffle And then in between there's butter and red bean. And now I feel sick because this was like very sweet. My coffee today is like surprisingly sweet as well. I think this might be my first proper Korean-ish food. Actually, this is not even Korean, this is like Japanese. What a mess. Oh my god, it like all broke. This is what it looks like now. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope everyone has a safe travel if you're traveling, and I'll see you soon.